Hi, this is David Geller of Jeweler Profit. Thanks for joining me for the tour of Geller's Blue Book to Jewelry Repair and Design. When you receive your book, it's a 3-ring binder, and inside is 352 pages divided into 14 chapters from everything from repair, custom design, appraisal, watch repairs, stringing, engraving, just a host of things that you can price everything that could happen to a piece of jewelry in a jewelry store. When you receive your book, you'll also notice on the inside cover that there is a calculator and a millimeter gauge so that you can use this while waiting on customers. There's also a little slot up here where you can use to put your own business cards in if you so desire. When you open up the book has 15 different tabs. Each tab is a chapter, and the very first chapter tab is the master index, which we're going to go over in just a moment. And then each chapter, starting with 100 all the way through 1400, has its own tab, a little bit of description what's in there, and each one of these dividers also has a description of what is in there. In addition to this, each one of the kits comes with a counter mat. The counter mat is like a small mouse pad, and it has a piece of plastic over the top. It's designed to put the jewelry on top so you don't scratch the jewelry nor the glass on the showcase. And as you lift it up, you'll notice that there are prices. So it has 20 of the most used prices for repairs. This very first one has tips and prongs, and it has pictures off to the right for a good tip, a good prong, a bad tip, and a bad prong. In addition to that, it has at the top 3 choices on cleaning your jewelry, and there are 3 choices for a customer. Our basic cleaning, this is what we do for a customer. We'll ultrasonic and steam clean. We do not check stones for tightness. We don't tighten loose stones nor guarantee them. There's no charge for that. Our second one is intermediate buff and clean. Here we will just buff it. And if they've got light scratches, all the scratches will come out. It's $8 a ring. We do not check the stones for tightness. We don't tighten them if they're loose, and we don't guarantee them. Some stores will check the stones for tightness, but we're not going to tighten them for the $8. And the last one is back to factory specs. So back to factory specs, we're going to check and tighten all the stones, round out the ring. We're going to remove the scratches and refinish it like new, and probably guarantee stone loss. It's $35 for a back to factory specs ring that's in yellow gold, and if it's in white gold, it's going to be $70 because we're charging an extra $35 for the rhodium plating. In addition to this, we're going to give you a what we call quick pick repair list. This is similar to the counter mat. This opens up, its full color, its legal size, 8.5 by 14 inches, double-sided, and it has the prices for a lot of the most used repairs. When you come to our website, jewelerprofit.com, you'll notice that all the things to choose on the left, these training videos, which you've already entered, is the very last one, book training videos. And when you click on there, it's going to open up. You'll need a password, and our password is my last name, Geller. I've already opened it up. So you're going to find every chapter is here on these pages. And the very first picture up here is showing you how in Windows or the Mac to play these videos. You would hit this little right arrow. It would play it. This will tell you how long it is. Volumes adjusted here, and you can make it full screen by clicking this little box on the right. So then, before we get started, which we're going to do now, we're going to go through and show you the tour of the whole book, and we're going to start with the master index. But before we get into the master index, I want to give you a little bit of an idea how the book was devised. If you have a previous version of the 3-ring binder, if you look at the very bottom of any page, you'll probably find it says version 5 release 5.1, and we're now on 6.0, which just came out this past April. So I want to give you an idea about how the prices are determined in the book. First off, all the material has a 3-time markup on them. The findings, the little diamonds, gemstones, the material, the casting grain. And I've used the Stellar's website for the costing of all the findings, parts, and material, unless they don't carry something. And then there are a few other vendors that carry things that Stellar does not carry. In addition to that, I have put in the book the stock numbers next to the finding for Stellar, and if Stellar doesn't have something, the other vendor. So for instance, when you look up lobster claws, there is a millimeter size, actual size of a lobster claw for you, and the stock number from Stellar, so you don't have to go and open up their book when you show it to a customer. All of this was done for the labor from a time study I did in my store in the late 80s and early 90s. What I found is I bought each jeweler and the waxer a time clock at Office Depot and had them clock in and out on the job envelope. I found out that they did not work an 8-hour day. They worked about a 5.5-hour day. So we had to add in 25% more for the downtime, because the jeweler doesn't work an 8-hour day. The jeweler is rolling emery paper, cleaning the ultrasonic machine, answering questions. So in addition to that, we figured now that a jeweler is going to be paid in the low 40s to the high $50,000 a year range. That's what it's going to take for most stores across the country to get a good jeweler. There is a small amount of jewelry store owners who will pay less than 40, in the mid-30s, and there's a few jewelers, many in California, that have to pay in the 60s to get someone. But this book works well for almost all of them. In addition to the salary, we have also determined that we needed to add in 25% more for matching taxes. If we pay a jeweler $20 an hour, the store owner is adding in 7.15% for matching FICA, Medicare, workers' comp, health insurance, and things on that nature. So that's how we've determined the labor price. Like the findings, labor after we added in these two items also has a 3-time markup. So in the book, there's a 3-time markup on the material, and with taxes added in, it's a 3-time markup on the labor. Then I have added in some self-protection for stone loss, so I've added in places where we charge extra to guarantee, tighten stones, and if they fall out, that we'll replace them. When it comes to larger stones, I'm adding it $6 per 1,000 on diamonds and very expensive stones in the event of stone loss or if the jeweler breaks it. And this way we can guarantee our work. Again, there are 15 different chapters in the book. Each chapter has its own yellow tab with a description, and then each one of these dividers shows you what's in each chapter. So after you get your book, you open it up, you have your millimeter gauge and your calculator. These are the tabs, how they look. They're banks of 5 each. And to give you a description of what's on the page, so if we were to turn to page 100-4 for ring sizing, then you can see down here at the bottom it's release 6. And you see right here, let's start here. So to make a very wide ring smaller with almost 35 stones in it is $105 in yellow, and we've added $35 in for rhodium plating. So this is smaller, first size larger, each additional size. This $105 is the retail price. This one right here is the express price. We'll do anything while you wait or within 24 hours for 50% more. This is the jeweler's costing code. And this number right here, which I have put in red, is the SKU number. If you're using Jewelry Shopkeeper or the Edge program, you'll use those numbers. When you open up the book and go to chapter 1400, which is charts and graphs, the very next page, which is page 1444, we have added to the very back of the very last chapter some higher price pages. So in the very first chapter, ring sizing smaller for yellow gold ring is $42. And in the back of the book, we have found that there are some jewelers that can get higher prices for these same sizings. So where it's $42 normally, there are some jewelers that are getting $63. So in the back of the book, we've added these pages, and the pages say here HP, which means higher prices. And they start, instead of a 1 for chapter 100, they start with a 3. You can take these pages out and replace the pages in chapter 100 and put those pages in the back. The same thing goes for CAD-CAM. We've also increased the prices for CAD-CAM. But if you think you can get this, then go ahead. So here's an example. In the very front of the book, chapter 100-1, you'll notice that ring sizing is $42 and it's SKU number 1000. In the back of the book, you can replace it. It would look the same. It's $63 and it starts with the number 3000. And if you look at the very bottom of the book, you'll see the HP, which stands for higher prices. And if you think you can get these, give it a whirl. There are many jewelers that are doing this, but only do this if you think that you can give it a try. Then you get your quick pick list, which we've already gone over. When you open it up, you can see all the nifty quick things you can take a look at. As for instance, when it comes to tips and prongs, the first tip and then each additional tip, it's already figured it up for you. All you have to do is come down here and find the appropriate number of tips, and it automatically figures it up for you. There's soldering with a torch, soldering with a laser. We charge 50% more. You can see the prices for the lobster claws and setting on here as well. Here's the counter mat we were talking about with the 3 ways of charging for cleaning and tips and prongs. And there's a picture of it. You can raise it up. You can take these pages out and put your own pages in if you so desire. So this gives you an idea how the book is done. The very next video is going to be a tour of the book. We're going to start with the master index. We're going to do this in small bites, chapter by chapter. The book is going to be on the screen, so you don't have to have the book with you. And you can access this from any place on the internet. Go to jewelerprofit.com, go to training videos at the very bottom, put in the password Geller. Last thing I want to show you, at our website down here at the bottom is book training videos, but I have also put some videos from YouTube, how repairs are done. These are not password protected. So I am training the staff on how we do repairs. There's going to be ring sizings in here, stone setting, soldering, rebuilding channels, plating. So all you have to do is click on it, and you'll find that this young lady is going to show us how to size a ring. So I've done this to help your staff to understand how repairs are done. There's some more over here on the side, but I have put some in there for you to help the staff understand. If they understand it better, they'll be able to sell it better. So thank you very much, and let's go ahead and we'll click on the next video, which is the master index. Thanks for joining us. See us on the next video.